Welcome to Christian Girl Summer. We're all about getting our lives together as a Christian girl. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hi, Crystalites, and welcome back to another video. My name is Crystal, and this is Crystal Display. So, in today's video, we'll be talking about money because this month is all about getting our finances together, right? Our life together because the money is part of our life, right? So, if you're excited for this video, definitely keep on watching. So there are 5 financial actions that you need to take right this year and many years to come, right? And this is the money talk. So the first thing that you need to do is to shift your mindset. And I know people always talk about mindset, but we're talking from a biblical perspective, right? You need to shift your mindset about money. I don't know if you've heard already that money is the root of all evil. Actually, no, right? Money is not evil. Is when you love it more than God. That's when it develop roots of all evil, which is idolatry, right? And if you don't know what idolatry is when you love anything above God. So if you love money more than God, then it is considered evil, or it is evil. It is a form of sin, which is idolatry. So definitely need to shift your mindset that money is not evil, but if you love it more than God, then that's when it becomes a problem, right? Money, you have to also remember that money is a resource, right? Money is a resource, but God is your source, right? As Christian girls, we need to remember that no matter what life bring, like the money will always come and go, but God is the ultimate source in which um you know yeah, exactly. God is the ultimate source. So like I had to learn that the hard way um this year, and remembering that okay, like watching the money is not gonna make things better. Or what I mean is like not, like I mean, like when you depend on money, that's when you realize that money will fail you. Like you need to depend on God, and you need to trust God and remember that God will always provide for you no matter what. So I think changing your mindset towards money is a big number one key financial action that you need to take this year as well. And I think also, I talk about depending on God to truly provide, especially in the hard times, right? You're probably wondering like where the money's come from. In that moment when you have financial worries, that's when you need to go back to God and give it to Him in prayer. So, yeah, all of that in action one, shifting your mindset. So, action number two is start setting a goal for that money, because I think when you don't have a goal, you're aimlessly just living. You're aimlessly living, and and if you are aimlessly living, then you are aimlessly spending, right? You have to like set a goal for that money. And in the Ultimate Glow Up Digital Planner, there is like a monthly financial goal that you can set every single month. So that way it keeps you accountable to track those finances every single month, like literally. And I think once you set a goal, you kind of know where you're going, or what are your plans for the future with that money, right? So setting a goal is definitely a number one thing to do financial action wise. And then the next point is point number 3, and that is making plans, but not just a plan, but a logical plan for that money, right? Before it even hit your bank account. I have to say that because a lot of times as soon as the money comes, when you see that big check or that big money, you start it's like your brain just think that you have all this money, and before you know it, you spend it, and you're wondering, okay, what happened to the money? And you're just waiting for the next pay cycle to come around, because you're like, oh, your money is already done. Like You have to sit down and make a plan logically on where this money will be going, even before the money actually hit your bank account. And what I love about the Ultimate Glove Digital Planner is that we have the money planner inside, where it literally helps you to think deeply on what item that you need or what you're going to be spending your money on, really, and setting the priority levels for that money, right? And if you actually need it as well, because it will just, it's almost like, I would say the money planner is almost like the roadblock before you actually spend that money aimlessly, right? Or that safe that you have to open before you actually take the money out. Because you have to convince that safe to open up, right? Why is that in the money planner you have to like really think, okay, do I actually need this or do I want this item? And I think that's what I really love about the money planner. And that idea only came because of, past history of shopaholic, like spending money aimlessly, to the point where it almost, affected my family in a massive, massive way. So I know what it means to like shopaholic wise. So that's how the money planner idea kind of come into play now. So it allows you to think logically about the money before the money actually hit your bank account. And then point number four, I recommend is tracking the money, right? And you notice I'm saying the money, right? So you have to remember that your money, right? It's not your money, but it's God's money, right? He's the one that lent it to you, or it's a gift from God. And I think in terms of tracking the money, it's you just being responsible, right? So that means you track either once a week, right, on where the money is actually going, or you can track also monthly. That's really good as well. I tend to do occasionally once a week, and then sometimes, most times actually, I would track where the money is going every single month. So this month, I can say that the money went mostly to fast food, which is not good, right? Well, last month was fast food, and then previous month was Amazon. So I know where the money is not being spent very well, and so tracking it makes you aware. I think before I used to be scared in looking at my bank account, but then I realized that not looking at the bank account does not make the problem go away. You have to take accountability. You have to be responsible with what God bless you with, right? And if you are shying away from looking at the money, then how can you find out how you can actually start saving that money for a better outcome for your future, right? So, yeah, track your money definitely. I would say don't be afraid to track your money, but also remember that it's not your money. It's God's money, and he's the one that lent you the money, right? Um and you have to just remember that he is the source and the money is the resource, right? So, in tracking your money in the Glow Up Planner, we have the habit tracker, and one of the habits is tracking your finances. I realized that that has to be one of the top priority in terms of habits where you constantly just track your money. It just really depends on the individual. So if you want to track it daily, that's more points for you if you use the 5 relay point system. Or if you want to track your money once a week, I highly recommend once a week, because that really helps you to see, okay, where is the money coming from, going to this week. And then overall you see like an overall picture at the end of the month, really. But yeah, highly recommend tracking your money. And then the final bit I would say is exercising stewardship, like exercising your stewardship muscle, right? And that just means like simply looking after your financial health, right? And when you look at the definition according to Oxford Language, the Google English Dictionary, stewardship is like a job. Our stewardship is the job of supervising or taking care of something. So if you look, for example, at the prodigal son, like he's a prime example of not good stewardship, where his dad would give him the money, and instead of him like saving it and putting aside, he squandered it to the point where he was broke. And then he had to return to his father. So there's a side to it, of course. There's a side and biblical side where, yes, the father had compassion, and just as how God will have compassion on us when we mess up, we go back to him. But there's also a financial side, where you see that the money, like, you can have so much money, but if you do not have that muscle, that stewardship muscle, right, where you actually take care of the money, even if you, for example, upgraded your job and you still do not have that stewardship muscle, then that money will just blow. You blow that money, just like the prodigal son. You finish that money, and before you know it, you're broke again. And you're wondering, but I leveled up my job, so why am I still broke? It's because you're not exercising your stewardship muscle. So definitely the Bible is a go-to when I tell you, when it comes to financial exercising, financial health. And there's also the story of the talents. I think with a banker in we're gonna have, later on, if God's willing, sometime this month, of course, we'll look on those two stories specifically regarding finances. But yeah, in that story of the talents, it really shows you that you do need to steward and multiply, not just take care of what God bless you with, but learn to multiply what God has blessed you with. If you can multiply it using your talents, your time, your action, then do that, right? Because God is not expecting you to just sit down on that resource and not try and learn how to use your skills to multiply your blessing, right? So, yeah. And then I think the overall summary of this is just remember that everything is a gift from God. Everything, even your money. And it's our duty to look after it well, to the best of our abilities. And I'm talking to myself as well, because sometime your girl will be like struggling to keep her money. Or sorry, keep the money, right? Um and I'm like, where's the money? And then before you know it, I'm literally talking from experience. So I'm telling you some wisdom. I'm giving you some wisdom in this video. But yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Like, if you do want to find out more about what I've been doing this summer in terms of getting my life together physically, mentally, spiritually, then definitely check out the playlist, the Summer Christian Girl Summer playlist. And I'll see you guys in another one of my videos. I'll see you guys in another one. Bye, Crystalites.